Pole watch, hurricane watch, hog watch. Happy to see you do ROM on your story because I know you were avoiding full range of motion because your injury. Yeah, it's not even necessarily injury. I just have like I will forever have an issue with Israel's attacking North Gaza and Syria. Oh, thanks, Sheltered Rosebud. I had no fucking clue. I was not keeping up to date with everything that Israel's doing. So thank God Sheltered Rosebud's in here to tell us. Thank you. I genuinely, I had no idea. Thanks. Yeah. Andrew Schultz had Trump on. I like that everyone was like, Andrew Schultz seems kind of racist. What's up with that? And then he was like, yeah, let's have Trump. Let's have Trump on. It's kind of crazy. Trump has basically been on all of my fucking friends' pods at this point. Like people that I know personally. I wouldn't say like super friendly, but what's happening? You know? Trump, listen, babe. If you want to reach me, you can reach me personally, okay? You added me the other day on Twitter. You know, you got my line. Like, stop trying to get my attention like this, dude. You're so desperate. You're so desperate. Why are you being so desperate, bro? It's weird. It's weird. You know what it is? Like this kind of flirtation, this kind of back and forth. It's kind of odd. Like he just wants to be on Fear and you can tell. That's why he's just like going on everyone else's podcast. Anyway, babe, stop. Your agent has to reach out and there's a 50% chance it actually happens. I know. I'm like kind of confused why he's doing it so much. I guess I'm not really confused because like anyway, Pole Watch, Hurricane Watch, Hog Watch, Andrew Schultz says Trump on his pod, and so much more. Get in now. We're going on the Bucket Bunny. We are Bucket Bunnies today, okay? We are all standing up and saluting the flag and the brave warriors that are the Bucket Bunnies that are going to be sucking and fucking all the linemen that go down to Florida in the upcoming week. Those are the real troops. Everyone always says like, oh, the linemen, they're the heroes. It's like, no, dog. Someone's got to boost morale. Someone's got to boost the goddamn morale around these parts. What is this? Hassan can't relate to desperation. Yeah, dude. That's what's going on though. I can't relate to desperation. Like Trump is like, you're my espresso. Hasanabi, he's my espresso. You didn't have to be fucking mean about it. I was just waiting to see whether you'd put it in the blast off. I'll fucking leave. Why the fuck are you always so mean to me? I'm so mean. I didn't mean anything by it. Because you're annoying, Sheltered Rosebud. That's why. And we warn you all the time. Okay? We warn you all the time. Like, literally, you get timed out so frequently. Okay? That's why. Like, it's not, I don't doubt that you're, I don't doubt that you're a nice person. I think you're a wonderful person. You're just kind of fucking annoying. That's it. I gave you an hour off. Okay? Doesn't really matter. And chat also throws up hostiles and gives you negative reinforcement in this situation. It makes you feel good. Slowly but surely, inevitably, I am worried that you will become a villain of the community, as many that I've brought to the forefront have become villains in the community. You know, I just wish it wouldn't work like that. Stop posting crazy in the chat like a parasocial nut. Yeah, not to be a bastard, but that's positive reinforcement. Okay, don't give positive reinforcement to someone when they're, whatever it's called. I don't care. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a hater. Yeah. Reed Timmer's out here dodging tornadoes in the hurricane. Wild shit. That's my goat, dude. I have a med school final in a few days. Please pray to Allah that I do well. I'll be praying for you, but I'm not gonna lie. My prayers aren't getting heard, right? Because I've been praying a lot. Okay, I've been praying for a lot of stuff. Not exactly a religious person, but if my prayers were answered, you would know. It would be newsworthy. There's a lot of newsworthy shit that would occur if Allah was out there listening to my motherfucking prayers. Okay, let me tell you, big dog. All right. Anyway, Pole Watch, Hurricane Watch, Hog Watch. Andrew Schultz says Trump on the pod, and so much more. Get in now. Bro, Floridians are insane. There's two people on the beach during the storm surge. One of them is holding a Harris Walls sign. Is this live? Like this is a live at Naples Pier. Is Naples Pier supposed to be one of the impact zones? There's no way, right? So people are like currently at the beach. No, it's south, but yes. Impact is 8 p.m. EST, bro. What do you mean? If the impact is at 8 p.m., don't you think it would be smart to leave ahead of time so that you're not trying to drive in the fucking storm surge? Because if the impact, when it makes landfall at 8 p.m., which is in a couple hours from now, it's 5 p.m. Pacific time. I had the comment on so many TikToks telling people you're gonna die if they don't leave is fucking insane. I don't get it. I mean, I'm sure it's moved around a little bit, but it's like if you're getting hit, dude is fucking snoring so loudly. It's crazy. It's actually kind of crazy how loud she is right now. You can't hear, but it's like it's bothering me how loud it is. Southwest Florida resident chatter. Several hurricanes hit our area all over the place and causing a ton of damage like 9 hours before the hurricane said to hit us. Yeah, I don't think people understand how hurricanes work. Like the major impact is one thing. But even before it starts raining, dog. What are you going to do? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to fucking get out of there. Naples is marginally south of the impact zone, but south is where the storm surge will be the worst. I don't understand it. Oh, yeah, this is Ryan Hall. He's like the storm guy, the
so
command center storm guy.
Under any tornado today, especially one of these PDS warnings. Like
anyway, we'll be watching this stuff later. Weirdos calling you Hitler on the timeline. Yeah, I saw. I don't really care, dude. At this point, dude. This is a website where saying Jews have weather machines that are causing storms to happen get 100,000 likes. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck when someone goes, oh, Hassan is Adolf Hitler. Okay? I don't care. People are stupid as fuck. Please stop fucking pointing to shit that you see on the dumb Nazi website. What the fuck's wrong with you? Anyway, I forgot there was a couple fun things I was going to look at, but fuck it. We'll just move on. Chat, what the fuck's up with the vibes today? Farming, tapping and glass, shitting on each other. Yeah, it's just vibes are not great. Trigger warning, chat advice from Jesse Waters and Stephen Miller. This is so bad. Ew. Elon really did do a number on this fucking app in less than 2 years. Yeah, I mean, dude, listen. Americans are very stupid, right? We're a very dumb country. Let's be fucking real. All right? We're not a particularly smart country. We were ready for this kind of thing. We were primed ahead of time. We were primed ahead of time in terms of, like, we were primed to be a nation full of little fucking Hitlerites, okay? We were so ready for it. You just needed someone to be like the trigger point, you know? Someone needed to light the match. We're already a powder keg. Someone just needed to walk up to that goddamn powder keg with a match lit. So I saw TikToker people thanking Daddy DeSantis for making tolls free, which is good, but he declined to talk to Harris and Biden. He'll tell Republicans from blue states we're thanking little Rhonda. What? No, he has talked to Biden and Harris. How do you explain Americans are so stupid? Yeah, I saw. I mean, look. This is the smart side of the equation, okay? Look, let's look at this. Walt says Harris no longer supports government health care, free tuition, or driver's licenses for undocumented immigrants, making a shift from her past positions. Axios. Also, where is it? Yeah, speaking of which, 2 large tornadoes from Hurricane Milton have crossed Interstate 75 in the Florida Everglades around 10 a.m. EDT, moving north between the towns of Miles City and Andytown. The tornado shown here was east of the first tornado and closer to Andytown. What the fuck is happening, bro? This is why I'm saying, like, you can't wait till the last second to leave, dog. Are you stupid? Are you stupid? How do people still demonstrate this hubris where they think they can toy with God? I will never understand this. It's like nature is the one beast you cannot tame, man. You do not know how to deal with it. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. People are like, I don't even give a fuck about the technological improvements. By God, I will let natural selection take its place, dude. How? We have designed societies. We built skyscrapers. We went to the fucking moon. And the state of Florida comprised of Floridians is still like, nah, natural selection will take its evolutionary course on me, brother. I don't care about the internet. I have all of the data at my fingertips, all of the knowledge that this world has cultivated over generations. What am I doing with that knowledge? I don't know. Believing that there is a Jewish space laser weather machine that caused this hurricane to hit me. You know, poor people can't leave, right? I know, man. That's not who I'm talking about. Shut the fuck up. God damn. Motherfuckers are so annoying. Fuck. Every leftist group has to have that one bisexual, septum nose piercing wearing motherfucker who's gonna be like, excuse me, you're being quite classist, sweetie. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. That's not what I'm talking about. Fuck. Every group, dude. Anyway, bro, listening to the Hasanabi broadcast with the windows down in my car is such a gamble. Yeah, it is a gamble, except guess what? A lot of people around you are going to be put on notice that you're listening to some good shit. Anyway, here's a hurricane update from our meteorologist chatter Stinky19. As of 1 p.m. EDT, Milton is growing in size, diameter as it barrels towards Florida as a Cat 4 hurricane. I thought that it was supposed to be a Cat 3 hurricane by this point. With 145 miles per hour winds and a minimum pressure of 935 millibars. The lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. This is a slight weakening from last night / early this morning. Hurricane force winds extend 30 miles out from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend 125 miles from the center. Most recent images of Milton. Authorities in Campeche have reported that one person has died as a result of Hurricane Milton passing the Yucatan yesterday. I was only able to find one news source on this, but I think that's just because most English news sources are focused on the impact Milton will have in Florida. There is also a high risk of flash flooding today, as rainfall is expected to total up to 18 inches across Florida Peninsula. This level of rainfall is predicted to bring catastrophic and life-threatening flash and urban flooding per the NHC to the Florida region. Storm surge is still expected to be at 10 feet or higher along the west central coast of the Florida Peninsula. Hurricane and storm surge warnings have also been issued for the east coast of Florida. The NHC continues to stress that it is an extremely life-threatening situation and to please evacuate if ordered to do so by local officials. National Hurricane Center is urging people to rush to finish preparations to protect life and property. There is an enhanced risk, 3 of 5. Several tornadoes resulting from Milton today and tonight across central and southern Florida. Tornadic supercells are already sweeping across the Florida. There's a tornado that crossed I-75. We're watching that tornado earlier. This is the one that Stinky's talking about. Milton wobbled the south yesterday and is now expected to make landfall somewhere between Tampa and Fort Myers late tonight and early Thursday morning. Tampa could still be hit directly. It only takes a couple wobbles back on the north, and Tampa is back on the direct crosshairs of Milton. Milton is still expected to remain a hurricane as it passes over the Florida Peninsula. This has remained consistent for the last 2 days of forecasting. Hurricane force winds are expected to spread inland. Power outages are expected across most of the Florida Peninsula. Milton from space. This is what it looks like. We watched this yesterday, or I guess this is a more recent photo of it. Hurricane Milton is pictured as a Category 5 storm in the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of Yucatan Peninsula from the space station. Oh, no, this is from yesterday. We watched this shit yesterday. It was crazy. Damn, though, but tornado chasers are definitely in their era right now. And after the first Twister movie, maybe they do got weather machines. So, Stinky, what's happening? Is it a lighter load? Because as far as I understand, if Milton hit Tampa or went north instead of going south, the impact was going to be more devastating. And does it seem like the trajectory has changed and it's actually more southbound now? Is that what it is? Okay, Stinky is not with us any longer. Yes, it's going towards Sarasota now, but that's only 20 to 25 miles from Tampa. Be patient while Stinky types. Once in a generation hurricane, I heard. That could just be 24-hour news hyperbole. No, there are a lot of generational aspects of this hurricane. Number one, it is actually a hurricane that is westbound or eastbound, but from the southwestern position. That is unique. Okay, that's number one. Number two, acceleration of this hurricane that went from a tropical storm to a category 5 hurricane with previously unimaginable levels of I guess, what is the term for it? It's not magnitude like an earthquake, but wind speeds and pressure that, like, both of these concepts of how fast the hurricane actually turned into a category 5 from a tropical storm is unique. The intensification happened virtually overnight, literally in a 24-hour period. That's also unique. So those are the reasons why people were losing their fucking minds, okay? Those are the reasons as to why meteorologists were going on TV being like, this is devastating. I'm crying. I never thought in my life we'd see shit like this, okay? What the NHC said about where it might land. Okay, is this new? Everyone needs to read this. Sit down for 30 seconds and read it again. This is from the NHC discussion on Milton. We would like to emphasize that Milton's exact landfall location is not possible to predict even at this time, particularly if the hurricane wobbles during the day and into this evening. Even at 12 to 24 hours, NHC's track forecast can be off by an average of 20 to 30 nm. Storm surge forecasts are highly sensitive to the exact track. This means that the realized storm surge heights across Tampa Bay region and south may vary widely, and there will likely be a noticeable gradient of surge heights to the north of the landfall location. However, the risk of devastating storm surge still exists across much of the west, central, and southwest coast of Florida, given the size of the storm and uncertainties in exactly where landfall will occur. Yes, the trajectory has changed. It is aiming more south. I'm at work. I'm sorry, wind speeds. The intensification happened incredibly quickly. It was actually insane. In-depth Wednesday morning update on Milton from a hurricanes expert.
We're watching Hurricane Milton's final approach to west central Florida, moving northeastward, landfall just several hours away now as of this recording. Expected.
Okay, this is too much. This is too nerdy. All right. I have friends and family who are in Georgia, and my friend's whole garage was flooded, much more damage than Hurricane Helene. One of the craziest things I've actually watched on my TikTok feed, I've been seeing a lot of this, these, people doing prep for the hurricane before they leave and stuff. There's this guy who's in Tampa, okay? There's this guy who's in Tampa, I think, or in one of the fucking places where, like, it's about to, it's going to make impact. It's got like fucking 15 feet storm surge or whatever the prediction is, right? And the dude is like, oh yeah, I have Flex Seal. He took a fucking, he put his goddamn Lambo on a jack, okay? He put his goddamn Lambo on a jack. Is on Daytona Beach? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm glad that you guys saw it too. This motherfucker, bro, I swear to God. He's like, oh, don't worry, guys. I'm putting my fucking Lamborghini on a fucking car lift in my garage. Okay. And also, I found this thing where apparently as soon as the water hits, it like automatically turns into a dam. We were going to put that at the bottom of the garage, and we're going to use Flex Seal. The amount of faith that you are placing on Flex Seal is crazy. Okay? Are you out of your mind? I was looking at that and I'm like, dog, it's over. Like, your fucking Ferrari or Lamborghini or whatever the fuck it is, it's gone. Okay? It is going to be absolutely caked in fucking seawater. Oh, this one is I saw this one too. This one is awesome. Someone please update me post hurricane about this house specifically.
Brand new Corvette, 9 miles from the water.
Like, why don't you just drive it away, dog? What are you doing? Like, if you care about it that much, drive it away, brother, because I'm going to tell you right now, dude, that shit's not surviving. Just drive it away, man. All the money he had for gas and hotels was spent on the Corvette, duh. Like, I don't get it. Drive it away somewhere else. Like, literally drive it away from the fucking vicinity of where the hurricane is going to make impact, where the storm surge is, and just leave it there for a couple days, maybe a week. Fuck's wrong with you, dude? This shit, like, how is this working? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, if you care about your car that much, why don't you just drive it away? I don't get it. Defiant World. What is this? I mean, is this another one of these like L accounts or whatever? They blocked me, it seems.
Flex Seal King using his Flex Seal on top of the spray foam to stop the floodwaters from going into the motorcycle showroom here. His rubberized coatings will keep the spray foam from falling apart, and it will save the business. Now that section is waterproof. I'm going to do another section.
What?
This is Ed Castro.
Dude, what's really funny about that is the wind speeds that we're talking about and the debris that we're talking about is going, like, there are so many things that could explode those windows, okay? Like, even if the Flex Seal were to work, what is hilarious about this entire process is that you got windows, dog. You got fucking windows. All it takes is one jet ski from your neighbor to just fly directly into the window and it's gone. It's done. Fuck you mean? I don't understand how these motherfuckers live in the state of Florida for extended periods of time and have still not figured out how hurricanes work. I lived there for a year. I lived in Florida for 1 year. And let me tell you, okay, I very quickly understood how this shit works. That's crazy. That's all it took for me. 1 fucking year of living in the state of Florida. And I was like, oh, I'm out. Like, I get it. I see what's going on. Or have you been living there your whole life and you still just like do not understand the concept?
Flex Seal King of Daytona Beach. And listen, if you want to buy a motorcycle, come on over here on Friday when we're back open again. We'll sell you a motorcycle.
No, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. That's crazy. He's like, nah, you don't understand, brother. But who the fuck is going to want to buy a Harley Davidson in the middle of the recovery and relief efforts? Like, this guy is out of his mind, dude. Bro, we need to open the schools. We need to close. We need to make it illegal to do homeschooling. We need to make it illegal to have private schools. And we need to immediately fund the public schools like tomorrow, yesterday. Okay? Yeah, this man is the crazy guy. He's Lieutenant Dan or whatever. He's a fucking also another nutty guy. He's all over TikTok too. I gotta pee real quick. Here, watch this man explain his situation while I go pee.
The people that are new, explain to them why you're deciding to stick out a Category 5, one of the worst hurricanes in Tampa history, out on a 20-foot sailboat in Tampa Harbor.
God told me to come out here and get a boat. I came out here and got a boat. And everything that he's been telling me over the last 2 days is I'm doing the right thing. He's got my back. I'm in good shape. I ain't sweating it. We're going to ride this one out. We got set up the way we know what we're doing. And as long as the water just keeps rising, we'll be fine.
Will you be wearing a life jacket?
Hell no.
Are you going to be able to swim if it need be?
In circles.
Can you swim with one leg or what?
Yeah, I can float like a damn champ. But swimming, I just go in circles.
So the plan's just to stick it out here?
Yeah. I mean, the water's going to come in, it's going to rise. If you're on land, it's going to flood, you're risking drowning. I'm in a boat. The boat goes up with the water. So even if the boat goes up 100 feet in the air, I'm going to be up 100 feet in the air with the water. So it's really the safest place in the world to be is on my boat. And I got room for one more female.
Give the people some words of wisdom out there.
Just be safe. Don't do stupid shit.
Can I say something? This attitude is the exact same attitude that I had when I was a child. And I always thought, like, if I jump right as the elevator is about to hit the ground, I'll survive. Like, what he is demonstrating right here is identical to, like, me being a kid and thinking, oh, if the elevator falls when I'm in it, I'll just jump right before the moment of impact and I'll survive it. I swear to God, it's the same mentality. Okay? It is straight up. Oh my God. It is so bad, brother. It is so bad. It's crazy. Boat goes up though. You think about that. No hurricanes here in Texas. It's on the same ocean as Florida. Why? Texas is not a swing state. I'm done. I mean, dude, you can convince these people anything. Like, you can convince these people to do anything. Do you understand? You can convince them to vote for the Republican Party. That's for sure. You can convince them of anything. You can tell them that you don't need to subscribe at the top of the hour. You won't see an ad and they'll believe you. And then they'll be like, why did I just see an ad at the top of the hour? But you should subscribe at the top of the hour because a 3-minute ad break is coming for you, even if it's at 12:12. Make a wish. At the top of the hour, I wish for you to no longer see those ads. And you can subscribe for $6 or for free with a Switch Rhyme or by getting gifted a sub. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. All right. There's a rumor that went around after 9/11 that a guy fell out of the tower, landed in a door, and made his way to safety at the bottom so of surging the wreckage as it would fall. This was obviously not true, but it was told by someone who very much believed it. Stop doing these. You keep making my daughter cry every time you do this, brother. Sorry. Okay, let's listen to Lieutenant Dan once again. I was peeing and you probably couldn't hear it because it was not loud enough, but here it is.
All right, Dan, for the people that are new, explain to them why you're deciding to stick out a Category 5, one of the worst hurricanes in Tampa history, out on a 20-foot sailboat.
Famously, boats are the safest. You know, when you're out on water and you get caught up in a storm, you're the safest. Famously.
In Tampa Harbor.
God told me to come out here and get a boat. I came out here and got a boat. And everything that he's been telling me over the last 2 days is I'm doing the right thing. He's got my back. I'm in good shape. I ain't sweating it. We're going to ride this one out. We got set up the way we know what we're doing. And
You're not going to ride this one out. You're going to die. I'm just letting you know. You're not riding this one out. You're not floating this one out. You're dying. This is just, there is no difference between what this guy is doing and just like taking a gun and just, you know, being like, oh yeah, I love playing around with this when it's loaded. And, you know, I love putting it in and around my temple and pulling the trigger, see what happens, you know, like that's it. And the funniest part about it is that like the fact that he is on a boat makes it more likely that he is going to die. Okay. Maybe by some stroke of luck, you fucking, you know, you wait it out. You have enough food in your fucking attic or something. You don't get blown away. And the water levels don't reach you and you have enough energy. And then your first responders come and get you maybe in a couple days. Okay. That's an unlikely scenario, but let's say that could happen. You being on this boat, you're definitely dead. There's no 3 p.m. EST Milton update. I know we just went through this, but the NHC just put out an update, and I would like everyone to have the most accurate and updated information. Milton is a Cat 4 barely, with winds of 130 barely, with winds of 130 miles per hour and a minimum pressure of 948 millibars. The NHC is urging people to take tornado warnings seriously and shelter if there is one in their area. Look at the tattoo on his stomach. That's what he thinks a tiger looks like. My man needs help. That's an interesting way to figure out that this man is not well.
And as long as the water just keeps rising, we'll be fine.
Will you be wearing a life jacket?
Hell no.
I mean, to be fair to him, I don't think a life jacket is saving him at that point anyway. So he might as well not, you know? Yeah, it's just, fuck's a life jacket gonna do, dude? What the fuck is a life jacket gonna do for him at that point? Explain how a floating boat will be affected by a storm surge. It is water. Dog, what do you think happens to boats when they're out sailing in the water and a storm occurs? Not even like a fucking category 3, category 4 hurricane, just a tropical storm. Hassan, it literally floats. Storm surges can't affect floating things. The storm surge is not the only concern for him. And you're also wrong because no expert boater is going to be able to navigate through the storm surge that is filled to the fucking brim with debris with 130-mile winds, dude. What are you talking about? The boat does not float permanently, okay? It is going to capsize. He is going to die. I can't tell if it's a meme or not, or if we are just like, I bet 500 that he lives, so we'll see who's right then. Yeah, he is going to live because apparently they forced him to evacuate. So you're not wrong. He is most likely going to live, not because he stayed on the boat, but because apparently, according to the mayor of Tampa, no, the mayor of Tampa said that they like forced him to evacuate.
Be able to swim if it need be.
In circles.
Can you swim with one leg or what?
Yeah, I can float like a damn champ, but swimming I just go.
No, they didn't. That's fake. He's still on the boat. Oh my God, he's dead. He's dead. Okay, never mind.
So the plan's just to stick it out here?
Yeah, I mean, the water's gonna come in, it's gonna rise. If you're on land, it's gonna flood, you're risking drowning. I'm in a boat. The boat goes up with the water. So even if the boat goes up 100 feet in the air, I'm gonna be up 100 feet in the air with the water. So
Yeah,
it's
see?
really the safest place in the world.
Yeah, the safest place in the world is the safest place in the world. What? He's been milkshake ducked? Oh, wow. A crackhead who is about to die in the next 24 hours is not a good guy? Oh, well. Oh, me. Oh, my. I am so shocked. Lieutenant Dan is a digital creator who started GoFundMe 3 weeks ago. He has 4 names and was arrested for battering. Wait, what? Battering a law enforcement officer with a violin? He's already up to 20,000 and has accepted the mayor's offer for shelter. I hate grifters. Okay, he sounds cooler now. Now I want to give him money for his fucking Brian Enton. For everyone worried about Lieutenant Dan, I just talked to him. His real name is Joseph Malinowski. He says he's going to stay on a sailboat in the Tampa Bay.
Everybody's worried about you.
Who's worried about this?
It's all over TikTok.
Everybody, like across the country.
I'm gonna go live in a minute.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be fine.
I don't think people realize you're so close to down. I mean, you could just get off if something bad happened. You know what I mean?
Also, dude, when I found out, okay, Brian Enton exposing his real name, all of a sudden things make a lot more sense. Okay, that's a beautiful Polish man right there. Maybe he will survive. Okay, that's a beautiful Polish man right there. Okay, what do you mean? I'll survive. Hello, my boat floats. Oh, yeah. I've tactically ascertained that this is a Polish type of person. Oh, dude, god damn.
I'm not going anywhere because the safest place to be is on a boat in a flood. Okay, we learned that with Noah. Everybody that stayed on land drowned. Noah.
We learned that with Noah, like he means the ark? He talking about Noah's ark? Yeah, this guy is awesome. Yeah, he'll be laughing now. He won't be laughing. This motherfucker, oh my God, dude, Americans are so awesome. Straight up, I'm back. I'm back in. I'm back in. I'm back. Americans are the best, dude.
Noah and the animals lived. So I'm fine.
Do you have any animals?
No, I wish I did.
Okay.
I love people calling him a grifter, by the way. Like, he is a crackhead. Like, I don't think you can be a grifter if you're a crackhead. I mean, I guess you could, but like, he's just an insane person. I feel like you have to be extra dumb if you are somehow sucked into a scheme that this person has put forward, you know? It's kind of on you at that point, right? Grifting requires a little, like, your mental faculties to be in somewhat in order. Okay? Like, he's just, there's a difference. I feel like Tim Pool is a grifter, right? Oh, I'm a centrist, I'm a liberal. Like, that's a grift. He's not. He's lying deliberately, right? And it's not like he's super smart, but obviously he's, you know, he's somewhat mentally competent. This man, on the other hand, crackhead, straight up. At this point, when he says like, oh no, Noah's Ark survived, like, that's a crazy person. It's kind of on you at that point. Like, if you look at this person and you go, no, that's my guy. Like, I think this is going to be, you know, I believe him. Okay. Then, you know, that's kind of on you. I feel like you kind of deserve to get duped by this guy.
Well, you got all the news crews right here during the storm, so you can just, you know, if you need anything, everybody's worried about you.
I know everybody's worried about me. Everybody wants me to get off the boat. People don't. Being that I'm tied up to the cleat on the dock there, I have a secured anchor point. I'm tied to the boat. If the tide goes up, I go up. As long as the water stays out of the boat, I'll be fine. And wind is, it's not a tornado. It's not going to get lifted up and thrown into Kansas. Okay, it's not like that. I'm not suicidal, but I'm putting it in God's hands and taking it out of mine and man's.
All right.
So I'm sitting tight. I'm going to play it out.
Well, like I said, we're all right up here. So if you need anything, everybody's parked right here, okay?
I love you all, and I thank you for the concern. I'm just doing what my father told me to do, and I'm doing it, and I'm being me. I don't go with the grain. I'm against the grain because it's all just, you're all robots. You're all sheep following the masses. And I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that does what I feel is right. And I don't care what anybody says or wants to do about it. I do what I think is right. He found me 10 years ago when I found him.
Inshallah, brother, you will ride this out. Inshallah, brother, you will survive this, okay? Everybody breathing in the air, fucking sheep. I'm gonna hold my breath. Like, what does he think is gonna happen when the water levels rise? And in that process, his boat directly fucking slams into like the first building. Like, has he not thought about this? Does he think that the storm surge just goes boom? One moment one moment the ocean level is here, next moment the ocean level is here, and magically you just avoid all of the debris? Like what? Like how is that? You're so dumb. He tied it to that dock. How could it bump into a building? He said his boat rides above in the last video. Yeah, but the boat is not going to ride above the buildings and the electrical poles and so many things he can hit before we even consider 135 miles per hour winds that will slam things into his boat. The boat is capsizing.
Well, we'll check on you, okay? We'll be up here and we'll check on you.
I appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you, sir. Stay safe. You got some time to rest. All right.
Like that, he's slamming into that right there, okay? That's what he's slamming into. Extremely grim series of words here.
I got ramen noodles and that's it. I did not plan for this shit, man. Fuck. I didn't even bring 2 packs. I brought 1 pack. It's probably expired anyways. Shit.
Oh, Florida is the most cake streamer coded state of all time. It makes total perfect sense, dude. It makes total perfect sense for people in Florida to behave like this. They used to behave like this without the camera and without a live streaming service where they can like commit suicide publicly. So you might as well fucking slap a camera on yourself and let others enjoy the show, I guess. Like, I don't know why people like this kind of morbid ass thing.
I think it's starting to calm down just a tad. Okay, let's look at the lake, man. Look at the lake. Look at the lake. It's starting to come up. The pond or the lake or the ocean.
That's a good spot. I think standing right next to the edge of a body of water is probably the best spot to be in, I think. They famously always say, get near a body of water during a storm surge. He has an air mattress. He will float. Just like fucking Lieutenant Dan, you know?
Hold on, I'm not lagging. Everybody.
It is really flooded pretty much everywhere. Little quick work right here. Yeah, it's completely flooded. It's getting bad out here.
This has got to be an older video. There's no way. I don't. Why did you ever leave Florida? I mean, look. That's from last week. Oh, this is from old video. Is not dark yet. Yeah, this got to be from Helene.
What do you got going here, Lieutenant Dan? What are you thinking?
There we go. Here. That way when I bang in, it has more freedom than what the hell is there. Because I'll bang right into the wall.
There we go.
Hassan, he's not that brave. I was walking my dog and about 5 of my neighbors were also out. Tampa Mayor confirmed Lieutenant Dan was evacuated like 2 hours ago. No, it turns out he isn't. Brian Enton says he's right there. He's staying put. Live footage of Lieutenant Dan. Storm surges are currently starting. Huge warning. Storm is about to start an hour early. Wait, really? Part of the reason he doesn't want to leave has to be that the boat is the only thing he owns, right? Dog, what are you talking about? That is the exact same principle for many people who have also left their homes. Like, hey, you know what? Here is one trick that stops you from owning anything permanently. It's called dying. Okay? Like, what are you talking about, man? What is everybody talking about? It doesn't make any sense. Like, Chatters, the reason he's staying is because he believes he heard the voice of God telling him to stay on his boat. Yeah. And Chatters are over here being like, nah, let's listen to this guy. He makes a lot of sense. Hey, remember when I told you guys back in the day, and have repeated time and time again, that like online has made things significantly worse because guys like Lieutenant Dan and like under the guise of anonymity basically present themselves in a more normal fashion while they're saying like deeply unhinged shit, and plenty of other just as insane people can just like hype that guy up, and then it makes other onlookers not be able to make this assessment. This is not that circumstance. You can see him. The only thing you can't do is smell him, okay? But you can see him. You can see him. You know he's not all right. You can hear his words. Why are you still going, hold on? He said, my proof for why I will survive this, Noah's Ark. I'm going to remind you guys what it looks like, okay? I need you to see it again. This is what it looks like when shit's flooding.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's just cheap manufacturing. Yeah, okay. Wait, so they did. No, but until then, he's staying. They're evacuating him at 5 p.m. How? What does this show? This from Hurricane Ian 2022. Note that it's edited to skip ahead to certain times. Very important for chat to see this. The Tampa area is facing a potential 15-foot storm surge with Hurricane Milton. Here's a video of a similar surge in Fort Myers during Hurricane Ian. Yeah, it's like a time lapse with edited skips. He said he was staying in a mandatory evac zone and waiting it out. Also, is he still there? No, I saw a TikTok of him talking about how he's going to a fucking shelter. A lot of people are going to like safe zones, shelters, okay? They're leaving their homes. If they don't want to go super far away or they can't go super far away, they're just taking their possessions, like their valuable possessions, their dogs, their pets, and they're going to, if they are in the impact area, they're in the evacuation zone, they're going to shelters. Ron DeSantis, for all of his faults and failures, very openly communicated that in a couple mile region are a bunch of areas that you can go to, a bunch of shelters that you can go to. Okay. These shelters are also pet safe. Here's the Jinxie clip.
Imagine this, 9 feet and even
what?
of flooding, of inundation. This is
What the hell?
survivable. So please follow the advice of your local officials when they ask you to evacuate.
All right, bro,
And
fuck
by
it.
all means,
Am I in the evacuation zone? Hi, guys, put up the evacuation zones. Okay, guys, I'll give you a rough estimate of where I am. Okay. I'm not here. I'm kind of in this area. I'm kind of here, okay? This is like a rough, 200-mile radius. I'm kind of in here, bro. I'm in this area. And don't say Tarpon Springs, because I'm not in Tarpon Springs. Leaked. Guys, I'm the one. Why are people typing Tarpon Springs? Yo, guys, I've never lived in Tarpon Springs. Okay, no evacuation order. Mandatory evacuation order. Oh my God. All right, yes, my county is. What? I'm just gonna fucking, bro. I'm riding it out. I'm riding it out.
Do people legit find this funny? Yes. The answer is yes. People do legit find it funny. Anyway, this is not done yet, chat. Let's keep going. Remember, at the 1 minute mark, this is where we're at. This is how it started, right? This is how it started. Then it got to this. Then it got to this. Then it got to this. So, if it can do that to the house, what do you think will happen to a boat? This isn't Milton. No, this is from 2 years ago. But the similar predicted storm surges. Fort Myers during Hurricane Ian. I don't think you understand how boats work. They go with the flow. They don't stand still and it can float. Dude, stop. Stop. Dude. Please stop. Please stop. Boats, yes, they do float. They also capsize, okay? Are you a fucking caveman? Are you an ape? Do you legitimately, you're joking, you're fucking with me, right? Like you're not trying to like genuinely argue with me that boats famously withstand storms well. Show to chat, please. No, they're gonna look at this and go, see, this is a boat survive. How the fuck people do this shit, by the way. Like, I will never understand it. Hello, my family and I sail. The waves will go over the sides of the boat and it will fill with water and sink. Even electric pumps that modern boats have won't be able to keep up. This is if it doesn't capsize or get punctured by debris. Flooding is more likely than puncture, more likely than capsize. Capsize is less likely because sail's done. Notice how there aren't any telephone poles in the middle of this fucking ocean, nor is there a tremendous amount of debris. Also, notice how these boats are specifically built to withstand these kinds of fucking treacherous conditions in comparison to his little dinghy, Lieutenant Dan's little dinghy.
We have new
Let's look at from Ian once again. Let's look at what happens to the boats in the aftermath.
damage from Hurricane Ian. This right here is what it looks like on Sanibel Island. Look at that pileup of ships.
Right, Sanibel just got hammered. This is off the coast of Fort Myer. I mean, look at all of these boats here tossed around, piled on top of each other. So it moved out into the Atlantic, and Kelly says it came across South Carolina, making landfall, and is now since weakened.
Right.
Sorry, I know this isn't the point, but here's another boat video. Trying to prove that those North Sea videos are only scary because of the Yoo-Hoo song. No, that's, nah, that's terrifying, actually. That's legitimately terrifying, actually. I don't like this, even with that song. Lieutenant Dan Lives is going to be your new Ukraine take. I mean, dude, I'll take that L, and I'll be glad to take that L. Okay? I hope he does. I hope he does survive. That would be awesome. I just don't think that there is a high likelihood that he will survive. I don't understand why you are arguing with that mentality. It's not a matter of logic. It's a matter of coping and denial. Do you think after this guy is dead, the chatter is going to say, I see how wrong I was? No, they will say, I would have pulled it off. If I'm a rescue worker and I hear, man, Hassan was right from some dumbass I just pulled out of the water, I'm throwing them back in. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, what? This guy's response, no, 10 to 15 inch surge is expected, not feet. What? What is going on? What is happening? What is going on? Anyway, this is another thing I saw. No hurricane here in Texas. Same ocean as Florida. Why? Texas is not a swing state. Dude, that's awesome. That actually is fucking sick. This guy literally said same ocean. Ocean. Famously tiny bodies of water. Oceans are famously tiny bodies of water. So obviously when you're 2,000 miles away from the impact area, because it's the same ocean, you're supposed to be impacted in the same way. Yeah, most intelligent day trader. It's the time of the season. He's right. Texas isn't a swing state, and it is the same ocean, and there is no hurricane there. No lies told. No lies told there. Reed Timmer's there. These guys are fucking insane. Yeah, my goat is there. My goat Reed is there.
That's onshore flow. You know what that means.
I think personally, if Lieutenant Dan doesn't survive, it's because he didn't flex tape the boat. Okay? That's what I think. If he doesn't survive, he should have flex taped the boat. Take a minute to flip back and forth. What is he even trying to say? Like, there's both blue and red areas there. Like, what? Info about the Waffle House Index. Yeah, this is relevant because the Waffle House locations at Tampa and Fort Myers have closed completely. Yeah. How Waffle House helps Southerners and FEMA judge a storm's severity. They have like their own internal operations too. Like they spend a lot of money. I'm an online teacher in a coding boot camp and have had Tampa students joining class from their phones while evacuating this week. So I've had to remind them to drop immediately from the line and prioritize their safety. I can't help the feeling and speaks to larger themes of insane expectations in the modern American workplace. This will shut the boat people up. No, it won't. No, it won't. It will not. Okay. No, they will say, see, if someone was on that boat at the time, they would have survived. Like you don't understand. Okay. People literally think that if they stood on top of these boats, they would have survived. See, it floated into safety is what they're thinking. Yeah, it looks like they floated there, bro. See, they're saying it. Oh my God, this is awesome. Fuck it, dude. You might as well have fun. You might as well have fun. Okay? at this point, just look at it, point at it, and laugh, you know, because the situation is dire. The situation is ass. So the best thing you could do, I guess, is just point and laugh. I don't know what else to say about it, okay? No, that's not what I said. The boats are supposed to avoid the land, and they're fine. My father-in-law worked 35 years on a big ship and always said boats shouldn't be on land. Okay, this guy was joking. All right, this guy was memeing. I thought he was being serious. Now I realize he's just memeing.
You remember when I used to say, darling, I want to watch our president tonight on television. And the husband looks, I'm sorry, dear. The windmills aren't wind. There's no wind tonight. You can't watch, darling. We're not going to be watching tonight. Maybe we'll catch him another time. No, we have to be careful. We have to be smart. We're going to lose our country. These people are crazy. They're crazy. They're damn crazy. We're going to get out. We're going to vote. We'll get it clean. The whole thing is crazy.
Windmills aren't wind. Oh my God. There's a chat vice segment that I will spare you of until later. All right. Before we get back to Hurricane Watch, Biden talked to Benjamin Netanyahu for an hour today. But anyway, let's do Biden calls out Trump's lies. Hurricane mass evacuations, fuel shortages as in nearest Florida's west coast. Let's take a look.
The storm, as we've heard, is massive.
And I'll get back to the
hours
Israel
away
stuff
from
in a
slamming
little
into
bit.
The coast. Officials say it could be the worst hurricane to hit Florida in a century. Let that sink in for just a second. This is serious. We've got correspondents all across the state from one coast to the other. We're going to start with Vladimir Duthier. There he is. He's in Tampa leading our coverage there. Vlad, good morning to you.
Bro's got the barber on, dude. Hey, yo. Locked in.
Good morning, Gail. The hurricane isn't even here yet, but we've already been getting drenched overnight by heavy rain from a separate front that is saturating the ground, and it's making it that much more difficult to deal with the water to come. If you could see behind me across Hillsborough Bay, that is Tampa General Hospital, where patients and staff are being moved off the first floor and where a flood barrier that held during Hurricane Helene 2 weeks ago might not hold this time if the most dire predictions turn out to be true. Scattered throughout neighborhoods across this area, that has been the most heartbreaking thing to see, guys. Debris left over from the last disaster that threatened to become...
My pilled friend stayed behind in Clearwater because he's scared of looters stealing his guns. He's very close to the water. Good luck to him, I say. Maybe he'll be able to, like, float on his guns or something.
Projectiles as winds hit later today. Meanwhile, the roads, let's talk about that. They remain jam-packed, as they have been for days, as people try to make their way out. Gas shortages have also become a problem. And get this, most stations around here have run dry, while elsewhere, people are waiting.
That's not barber. That's a bell staff, like what you bought, Marat. Actually, I think you are right. Also, that's crazy that you knew that and remembered that. This got to be a fucking biker and not just a John's enthusiast. You know what I mean? Crazy that you remember that. I have a Trailmaster in my wish list. Nice.
Hours just to reach a pump. Now take a look at how huge Hurricane Milton is, seen from the International Space Station yesterday, covering much of the Gulf of Mexico. On one hand, it's absolutely beautiful, and on the other, it is absolutely terrifying.
Hurricane Milton is closing in on Florida as a catastrophic Category 5 storm. It is poised to be one of the most destructive natural disasters in Florida's history. Officials just forecast the storm will hit as a Category 4 along the west coast. Tampa, St. Petersburg, Sarasota, you can see down to Fort Myers, all in the path. Big population centers, all extraordinarily vulnerable.
I'm just north of Clearwater. There is no gas anywhere. The hotels doubled their booking prices almost universally as demand soared from people trying to evacuate. The airlines did the same. Yeah, by the way, that is illegal. Like, that is what is also known as price gouging, which is illegal. And yet they're doing it and they will not be punished for it. Perhaps the administration that said that they were going to tackle this kind of thing should, I don't know, demonstrate the method of doing such a thing. I don't know. What the fuck do I know, dude? What do I know?
Vulnerable to a predicted huge storm surge. The outer bands are now being felt. Bridges to some barrier islands have already been shut down. Officials say if you can get out, but that window is closing. CNN is stationed along the coast. First, Let's get the new forecaster, meteorologist Derek Van Dam. Derek, tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, John, we are less than 24 hours away from one of the most powerful top 10 Atlantic Basin hurricanes to ever form that will impact western and southwestern portions of Florida. This did not weaken overnight, and those are sobering words because we're only a matter of hours until we experience tropical storm force winds in this region, and it's only a matter of hours before we start to see the water levels start to come up. The latest track from the National Hurricane Center does show a Category 4 major hurricane making landfall late tonight into early Thursday morning. The exact location of that most powerful right front quadrant of the hurricane is so important. We know this is a game of miles, right? One computer model still showing a worst case scenario for Tampa Bay, but there are other computer models that bring it to the south. We should expect these types of wobbles with this type of an intensity of this magnitude. These storms tend to wobble back and forth, and that again determines who will see the worst impacts. One thing's for sure, the catastrophic winds will not be confined just to the coastline. They will stretch far inland. And notice this updated map. This has extreme catastrophic winds, that's major hurricane force, from Hillsborough County into Lee County, including Charlotte, as well as Sarasota. Now, in terms of this unsurvivable storm surge, again, it is that right front quadrant that is so critical. 10 to 15 feet, you can see that includes Sarasota, the Port Charlotte region. We are watching the satellite depicting every moment in its track as so critical on whether or not this has a southerly component or a northerly component.
In Tallahassee during Helene, the Target on campus raised the price of milk and gallon water jugs just before the storm hit. Hell yeah, baby. Never let a crisis go to waste, dude. How else are these guys going to make their profits, dude? Why won't anybody think about the capital owners?
And who gets the worst impacts? Flooding rain will be a concern from this, John. We're talking about over 2 to 3 months of rain falling from the sky.
There is perhaps no better indication. There's perhaps no better demonstration of who's actually doing the looting in moments like this. Price gouging is supposed to be objectively. It's just illegal, okay? It is in the books. And one of the greatest demonstrations of price gouging is literally this, okay? In times of crisis, when companies know that there is going to be additional demand and people are going to need it desperately, they fucking pump up the prices, okay? That's just price gouging. It's like the textbook definition. Now, having said that, they do it anyway. Those are the real looters. Those are looters. Those are the real looters, okay? That is where the looting is actually happening. They are looting your fucking pockets. It's madness.
Through the duration of the storm, it's already been raining. We've already seen tornadoes spinning up in Miami-Dade County earlier this morning, and that will increase through the course of the day today. I'm going to leave you with this, John. We have a rare risk of excessive rainfall leading to flash flooding where you see that shading of pink. Remember, if we've learned anything from Hurricane Helene, it is these rare high risks that cause the most destruction and also the most deaths.
There is so much to be concerned about, so much we have to pay attention to. Derek Van Dam, we're going to keep coming back to you throughout the morning to get the very latest forecast because every little movement, every little wobble impacts millions. Let's get to Randy Kay, who's in Sarasota, Florida right now, right in the center of this path. Randy, what are you seeing this morning?
Yeah, good morning, John. It has been raining steadily here this morning. We know that conditions are expected to get much worse here because we are, as you heard, potentially in the bullseye for this storm. We are on South Shore Drive here in Sarasota. You can see there's a dock behind me and some water, and that boat, we don't know how long that boat will remain there. We're also seeing some lightning here in the area as well. But we are expecting a potentially record-breaking storm surge of 10 to 15 feet here. They thought Helene was record-breaking at 7 feet here, so certainly they are very concerned. They're also concerned about the winds that are expected to pick up this afternoon, about 40 miles per hour and up, starting with the tropical storm force winds this afternoon. We're hearing some thunder in the area as well. People, John, have been evacuating here. They know what Helene did. They see the debris around the neighborhoods. People have emptied out their homes. One woman told me she spent 15 hours cleaning debris out of her home after it was basically destroyed by Helene. So there's debris all over the neighborhoods that can potentially turn into projectiles. There's also people boarding up their businesses, their homes. The restaurants are closed here. We spoke to one.
Which state is the most advantageous in terms of land location and resources? Minnesota.
woman who told me that her husband rode out the storm on Siesta Key, one of those barrier islands that is now shut down. He was chest deep in water. He rode out Helene there, and they are still staying to ride out Hurricane Milton. Here's what she told me.
Now, as this hurricane is barreling down directly on our community, it feels like maybe Helene was just a rehearsal for what's to come.
Work with structural engineers in the disaster response base, and they're saying that most of the homes and the buildings in that area of Florida have not been retrofitted with modern hurricane-resistant strategies, are not up to current standard. It's very likely that structures in the area will be completely wiped clean. First-time chatter, long-time watcher, thanks for your coverage of these events. Yeah, but the loot. There will be looters. That's what I'm more worried about. Why not Illinois, Chicago? Illinois, too. Also, Lena Khan, our queen, has said, 1, nobody should have to worry about being ripped off when fleeing a hurricane as the country reckons with hurricanes Helene and Milton. We're hearing reports of people being price gouged for things they need to get out of harm's way, like hotel and gas. The FTC will work with state and federal law enforcement partners to hold accountable any bad actors that exploit the crisis to illegally take advantage of Americans. If you spot practices that may be fraudulent or illegal, you can report them to the FTC. AOC told me you are a bad person, and I can see what she means. People don't have gas to escape Milton because of you. Wait, what? Every day that passes by, I find myself more and more resentful of my fellow Americans. I just genuinely, I am developing deep disgust for a lot of people on Twitter. I truly hate how fucking stupid people are. Kamala Harris made a statement on price gouging as well. Harris fought price gouging during emergencies when she was California AG several weeks ago. Campaign proposed additional federal protections against food price gouging. Now with hurricanes wreaking havoc, Harris is using her platform as VP to warn against it. Let us all be clear. America's impacted by a crisis should never be ripped off. I've seen firsthand the devastating impact of price gouging as an Attorney General of California during devastating wildfires. She's like, I'm going to be prosecuting the transnational gangs. I'm going to be prosecuting the top of the hour ad break. If you increase the price point of a subscription to the Hasanabi broadcast in the midst of a hurricane, I will come after you. It should be $6. It will remain $6 or free if you have a Twitch Prime in order to avoid those ads. If you want the latest and greatest, up-to-date, uninterrupted, no ad break experience at the Hasanabi broadcast. Thank you, Dynamic Jab, for the 5 Get the Subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Stop. She's being normal for once. Let her have this one. Yeah, I mean, I agree. This is good. This is smart. She isn't prosecuting the transnational hurricane. Curious. Yeah, it is also a Mexican hurricane. Seems to me like the border czar couldn't put the border wall in front of this hurricane, huh? Once again, letting undocumented migrants and undocumented hurricanes coming in from Mexico into the country. They're pouring over the border, folks. That's rich of you when you've been platforming Milton these past few days. Yeah, I have been. It's good that they are taking the initiative here. It's probably not going to stop these fucking animals unless they do legitimately get prosecuted extra hard. Like this time around, they are not deterred, seemingly, right? Because they're pieces of shit. If they do actually follow through and they do actually hit hard at these price gougers, okay, next time they won't be so callous as to engage in it.
Talking possible 15-foot storm surge. None of us in 100 years have seen anything like this. It is shocking.
And John, they are riding out Hurricane Milton on the 9th floor of a condo building in downtown Sarasota that is built to withstand a Cat 5 hurricane. So they hope to be safe. John?
Randy, the thunder, the lightning all around you, just the beginning of what will be a chaotic day. Please stay safe. Let's get right to Isabel Rosales, who is in Tampa now. Tampa, I know, bracing for the worst case scenario. We can see the rain falling on you.
John, good morning. Right, we're starting to feel those outer bands. The rain is starting to pick up. In moments, there's a little bit of a gust, but we know these conditions are only going to get worse. Right now, we're in front of Tampa General Hospital. We're keeping an eye on the Hillsborough Bay. We know that from Helene, the storm surge got so bad here that the waters actually touched and got several feet high up to the walls of Tampa General Hospital, the region's only level 1 trauma center. With Milton, we're looking at worst case scenario, double that storm surge, so 10 feet on up. So this is a precarious situation we're keeping our eyes on. And of course, you have Florida officials telling folks that if you haven't already, please evacuate or seek shelter. We heard from Sheriff Chad Cronister of Hillsborough County saying that this is the 11th hour. please get out. This is your shortening window of time to leave the area. Another matter of concern here is once these winds reach about 40 miles per hour.
Milton has been downgraded to Category 3. It remains a grave threat to Florida, forecasters say. Where's Stinky? I can't believe we outflanked Stinky on this. Stinky, no recent messages. Yeah, I mean, the original prediction was that it was going to hit the original prediction was that it was going to hit as Category 3. Fantastic animation from Spillo showing Milton's peak winds diminishing, but the extent of the strong winds growing substantially. As the wind field expands, the threat of a dangerous storm surge increases. Okay, let's get back to that.
This is a community of bridges. You're going to start seeing the Sunshine Skyway, the Howard Franklin, the Corny Campbell Causeway, these bridges beginning to...
Tampa here, we still have power. Wind started picking up and rain too. Dog is pissed and I'm getting hungry. That's about it so far. What the fuck are you doing? Please be safe.
Shut down. Also, first responders not as willing to go out for their personal safety. Over in Treasure Island in Pinellas County, one of the barrier islands, residents heard this. Listen.
A local emergency currently exists. Quickly secure your home or business and safely evacuate the area. Listen to local media and authorities for additional information.
And one of the major concerns has been debris, all of this debris piling up here from Helene, still out in the streets. Those could become flying projectiles. Very serious and very dangerous. John.
Very dangerous indeed. Isabel Rosales in Tampa. Again, please stay safe. This is just the beginning of what will be perhaps a catastrophic 24 hours.
Joining us now with the latest on this major storm is Michael Brennan. He's the director of the National Hurricane Center.
These are the guys that are cloud seeding. They're flying their alien spaceships into the eye of the storm to make it worse, to kill God-fearing patriots.
Michael, good morning to you. What are you most concerned about, and what is the latest from your end of this?
Well, Milton remains an extremely powerful, very dangerous hurricane this morning, Category 5, and it's going to be reaching the west coast of Florida now within the next 24 hours, late tonight, the early morning hours of Thursday. So folks along the west central coast of Florida, particularly in these storm surge evacuations.
4 p.m. Eastern, Milton update, newest NHC update. Milton is a Category 3 hurricane with winds 125 miles an hour and a minimum pressure of 950 millibars. Sorry, took me a sec. It's all good, Stinky.
Evacuation zones from north of Tampa all the way down to Naples. You've got your last few hours to get out before waters start to rise. Tropical storm force winds begin. Your evacuation routes could be cut off. And again, you don't have to drive hundreds of miles to get to a safe.
Saw a video of homeowners putting furniture, etc., outside on their lawn. Why would they feed missiles to Milton? It's because the furniture was put out there in the last fucking hurricane, in the last storm. And that's probably waterlogged shit. And they didn't realize that there was going to be another fucking Cat 3 hitting only a couple weeks later. That's the craziest part about this is that, and there's going to be a third one potentially as well. So yeah, the debris they haven't been able to pick that up yet before another one hit.
Safe place, maybe just tens of miles to get to a shelter outside of that surge zone.
How does this hurricane compare to others that you've seen? Because the language many officials are using is, quite frankly, borders on apocalyptic.
Well, every hurricane is unique and has its own unique mix of hazards. But for this portion of the Florida West Coast, this is a track and a threat we have not seen in anyone's living memory in terms of a track basically perpendicular to the coast. It's going to allow the winds of Milton to push in a destructive way that Gulf of Mexico water up onto normally dry land. And that's why we're so concerned about the storm surge getting 10 to 15 feet above ground level. The potential for that is certainly there in Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, Manatee, down to Sarasota, and substantial storm surge risk even farther south down to places like Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and even.
Why is this happening? God is punishing Florida for being conservative. What do you mean, why is it happening? How many times have we got to talk about this? Okay. Climate change. Water warm. Warm water makes storm more powerful, faster. Powerful, faster storm hit land.
Even Naples, because the size of Milton's wind field is going to basically grow, almost double in size between now and just prior to landfall.
Briefly, Michael, what portion of the severity of this is due to the changing climate, to human-caused climate change?
Yeah, it's hard to know on an individual case, but certainly warm, very warm Gulf of Mexico waters are what.
I saw one of the dumbest Neil deGrasse Tyson clips I've ever seen, and it shocked me. Like, I know he sometimes says like silly things like, silly liberals, you know. I don't know. He'll every now and then he'll have like a silly ass take, and he'll be like, what the Sigma ass takes every now and then. But this last one I saw on TikTok was insane. He was like, the America I knew would be working in real time to take advantage of these winds, of these hurricanes, to basically capture the energy. But we're so silly nowadays in America that we just like look to escape it. That's what he said. Does anyone have that TikTok? We got to watch it. It's awesome. Was that about Milton? No, I don't know if it's about Milton. I think he was just talking about hurricanes in general. He's not trolling. No, he's not. He's not trolling. Where is it? Breaking. Biden says he fully supports Israel's right to defend itself against Iran and its proxies. Oh, dude. Nice. That's the go ahead.
I'm tired of looking at countless thousands of cars exiting a city because a hurricane is coming. Where are the engineers and scientists saying, you know, instead of running away from the city that's about to be destroyed by this hurricane, let me figure out a way to tap this cyclonic energy of this hurricane to drive the power needs of the city that it's otherwise going to destroy? Where are those people? You need a culture where that becomes a natural state of how people think, rather than buy toilet paper, buy water, run. That's our current natural state. And I don't think that was the country I grew up in.
I'm serious when I say this is the dumbest thing I've heard this man say ever. It's especially dumber because like it shows the impact of like hurricanes while he's talking over it. And he's like, why are people just like running to grab toilet paper? Like we need to change our attitude about hurricanes in general. This is so clip chimp. You should know better. I mean, someone didn't make this as a own. Sometimes you just miss, okay, don't come for the science guy. That's Austin's fave. Yeah, it's Neil deGrasse Tyson, the science guy. He's trying to be all science fiction positivity law. I get where he's coming from. You need someone like this to push us forward, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, he's just doing science fiction positivity. I can't believe human beings are focusing on escaping the fucking devastating natural disaster instead of thinking about how they can harness the energy. Okay, in order for human beings to be able to harness the energy of a devastating natural disaster such as this one, they also need to evolve so that they can somehow survive this environment. You're being super uncharitable with this one. Sorry, I fear I have upset the Neil deGrasse Tyson fans in the chat. Here's a longer version with the proper context. Thank you, Suja. Take a day off for that one. This has conveyed a message from Washington to Iran's foreign minister on the Israeli retaliation. An Iranian source tells me the message says Washington is not fully aware of Israel's intentions, but has assured Tehran it won't participate in an attack on the Iranian nuclear sites. Good stuff. Stay in your lane, politics, man. You have upset us nerds, buddy. Dude, in order for us to be able to withstand, or in order for us to be able to even get to the point of thinking about how we harness the energy of hurricanes, we need to first build infrastructure that can withstand hurricanes. We are not even at that stage. Okay? You understand that? We are not at that stage. That is a ridiculous... Oh, God, I'm not... Like, I get the energy of what he's putting out there. Like, wouldn't it be nice if we changed our attitude towards how to deal with these problems? This is not the same video. This is just him advocating for that position elsewhere. Anyway, let's get back to this beautiful
fuel the intensity of the storm, and those waters are warmer than normal. On a broader scale, we're seeing sea level rise occurring, which is worsening the threat from storm surge across the board, and also heavy rainfall threats are increasing because warmer air.
Bro, we literally have not. We are currently at a stage where we refuse to even recognize the underlying reasons as to why these devastating, earth-shattering events are occurring with greater magnitude and frequency. We refuse to take initiative to harden our infrastructure against that sort of thing that is happening regardless of whether we recognize it or not. And last but not least, to add salt to the wound, we've now officially decided as a collective that no, these events, these world-changing natural disasters are man-made, just not man-made in the sense of anthropogenic climate change, but it's man-made by a weather machine that's killing us. All the while, recovery and relief efforts are also simultaneously disrupted by people who want to go to that area and film themselves doing TikToks with the fucking Christian Rangers. Christian Rangers here, we're doing recon in Asheville, North Carolina, because the local law enforcement won't give us the details of how we can help them with our guns.
Air holds more moisture, and that's something we haven't touched on here yet with Milton, but some places are going to see up to 18 inches of rain, producing life-threatening catastrophic flash flooding potential across much of the central Florida peninsula, and that potential will be there beginning today through tonight and into Thursday.
All right, Michael Brennan for us this morning. Michael, thanks very much for the work that you do every day, and particularly today, of course. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Big news, Hawk to a girl unfollows Connery's pants because of what he said on Fear and. Sad to hear Mr. Connor is a hater, but to be honest, I just don't give a fuck. Haley has unfollowed me. Deadline is reporting that the network will not be renewing Fortnite Friday if this isn't resolved. Haley, if you see this, please talk to it to me so we can clear this up. Click on what she responded to. It's me, bitch, Hawk Toshi, LGM.
Hey, bitch, it's Hawk Toshi, and let's go Mets.
Love how the management thinks that this shit proves anything from some 60-year-old fart on this bitch. Even Connor called you out on FAIN. Shit is so obvious to anyone with two eyes. Just go full right-wing grift since you already support racist and transphobic Elon. Sad to hear Mr. Connor is a hater, but to be honest, I just don't give a fuck. This is fake news, Haley. Don't listen to Angelica. She's just stirring up trouble. Would love to have an open dialogue about all things crypto, X, AI, Mets, and Fortnite on my show or yours, perhaps both. I can't believe that. I can't believe this has happened. I cannot believe that I technically played a role in this happening. I apologize profusely. I apologize to the franchise. I apologize to the Riot Games. I apologize to Epic Games. I don't even know why I'm apologizing to Riot. I'm just apologizing. And last but not least, I apologize to Connor Eats Pantaloons. Okay? This is the worst timeline. I thought that there were you owe me Grimes or AOC. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that this has happened. This would have been your Walter Cronkite moment. You know? How do you always manage to get yourself in 1 degree separation from every single person? I don't fucking know, dude. I had to mute Angelica or day a bot or something. So annoying.
Thanks.
We want to take you now to President Biden, who is given a hurricane briefing right now.
Helene and Milton. 2 historic storms in 2 weeks. I want to thank everyone who has followed local guidance to evacuate ahead of the landfall. I know it's really tough, leaving behind your home, your belongings, everything you own. But I urge everyone in Hurricane Milton's path to follow all safety instructions as we head to the next 24 hours. It's literally a matter of life and death. Second, for the last week, my team has done everything possible to prepare for this storm. I immediately approved emergency declarations in Florida and the Seminole Tribe in Florida. I also surged search and rescue teams, water, food, power generators, ambulances to the region. In my direction, Administrator Criswell will be in the State Emergency Operations Center in Florida tonight. And Kamala and I are going to keep pressure on the company.
Did you hear Ron DeSantis say not to evacuate because it will clog the highways? No. Okay. I hate Sugar Man as much as the next guy. But what he was saying is don't drive on the highways unnecessarily if you have a close enough shelter that you can go to. He's not wrong for saying that. Okay? He's simply saying evacuate if you're in the evacuation zone to the nearest shelter that you can go to. These shelters are literally pet friendly. Like there's enough supplies there, there's food there, there's generators there. That's what he is saying. He wasn't saying like, don't fucking, don't evacuate. And I don't think he's necessarily wrong for that take.
So prices stay stable on gasoline, flights, and goods people need. Finally, we're teaming up with state and local officials to support impacted communities. I've spoken with the Florida Governor DeSantis, with Mayor Tampa Castor, the Tampa Mayor, Clearwater Mayor Rector.
One of the biggest concerns with Hurricane Milton is storm surge. The National Weather Service forecasting life-threatening storm surge levels here. So the basics. A storm surge is a rapid rise in water levels caused by strong winds pushing water onshore. In parts of Florida, we're talking 12 to 15.
He didn't make the highways one way for some reason. What the fuck? What do you mean? You realize that like linemen and hurricane relief and recovery teams have to make it into Tampa. So they're gearing up for a response ahead of time. That's why it's not a one-way highway. Yeah, and the bucket bunnies that are going to suck and fuck their way through the entirety of the peninsula.
Feet of water from this storm in a surge. And I want to give you an idea of what that really means beyond just the numbers. This shows you a storm surge of about 2 feet. At this level, low-lying coastal roads would be inundated with water. The next stage would be a surge of 5 to 8 feet. This is enough to submerge cars. But remember, Milton is expected to bring much worse, storm surge of 10 plus feet in places. And this is taller than a city bus. The average first
Late to the party, but I live in the WNC and the misinfo spreading is killing me mentally. My neighbor is telling people not to accept the $750 because by doing so, you're allowing FEMA to take your home and land if you fail to repay it. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's not a loan. Oh my God. These people are so fucking, oh my God. Oh my God. I also have family in Florida and they're seeing people get on the misinfo train about Milton too. We're so cooked as a nation. It's just free money. It's just one free payment. What the fuck are people doing? FEMA cannot eminent domain your home. Oh my God. Oh my God. Everything is fucking polarized. Everything is politics. Everything has to be some fucking weird right-wing shithead doing misinfo, dude. What the fuck?
Floor of a commercial building is typically around 14 feet high, and Milton storm surge could reach a foot higher than that. So it is impossible to know with certainty at this point where this is all going to hit and when. But the places that are facing these catastrophic levels of surge are from Tampa on south. We're talking Sarasota, Venice, Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda. This is how high it could get there. And when you see the surge, this surge in relation to just an average human in a normal-sized room, it is clear why officials are saying, get out now.
Yeah, and Kate, even with warnings like that and demonstrations like that, there are some people who are choosing to ride out the storm. With us now is Bridget Stone Budd, who lives on Sanibel Island. And we should note, Sanibel was cut off from Hurricane Ian. I mean, you've been through things like this before, yet you were choosing to stay with storm.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell. Yes. Like, I see that hair and I'm like, oh no, she's staying for sure. White lady with dreads, bro. Yes, she's fucking staying. She's locked down. She's locked the fuck down, brother. Don't even ask.
Storm surges that could reach well over 10 feet. Why'd you make that decision?
We don't really make a decision each time. It's just, we just don't leave. We just don't leave our home.
Why not?
We haven't on any of them. Charlie, Irma, Helene, Ian.
Why do you choose to stay? Why is it important for you to stay?
I think the most important thing is that we know we won't be able to get back. That's the number one reason.
What do you mean you won't be able to get back? What are you saying? Why would they stop you from getting back to your house? Who is gonna stop you? Once the recovery and relief efforts are underway, why would you not be? They closed the bridges? Dog. They only close the bridges so that they can make sure that the area is safe. Okay? The roads might be fucked. Yes, dude. Yes, I know. That's why If the roads are fucked, it's not safe.
Number two is there for us, we would rather withstand the storm than, live in an arena with 100 or 1,000 people, or, in motels, hotels with 3 dogs. It's just,
bro, what is happening? Oh my God. She's seen what Israel does, so I understand. Yeah, I don't think she thinks that like a bunch of ultra orthodox kids are gonna come into her house and take it over, okay? If she leaves it. She's not living in fucking Hebron, okay? She's in motherfucking Sanibel Island, Florida. That's not how these things work. She's like, oh yeah, sorry, won't be leaving because I'd rather die in my house.
it's just something that we've never, I don't want to say we don't fear the storm. We certainly fear the storms and the hurricanes. We just choose to ride it out. We just do. We've been through, Ian was, Charlie was the first one I went through in 2004. And then Ian was definitely the worst because of the surge that we had never gotten before. And we, at this point, had the highest of 12-foot surge. And, I know that our house can withstand it. So it's just a matter of when I finish up with you today, I've got to finish bringing everything up to our upper level.
Yep. Oh my God. Oh my God. Island girl, hurricane survivor, wildlife photographer, author, and creator. You know her ass as a drop shipping program, okay?
Hi, everybody. I just left my last trip to the fire station to pick up another packet of sand.
Bruh, what the fuck?
You guys seen that TikTok? I saw it this morning and I kind of forgot about it, and then I just saw it again now, and I debated whether or not I.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, they're like, nah, I don't care. I will let natural selection run its course, despite the unimaginable amount of technological achievements that make it virtually impossible for me to die. Like, society is designed in a way where I, the dumbest person you've ever met, will not die in these situations, but it does not matter. I will try my hardest.
Talk to me about that. Where are you sitting right now? 12 feet of storm surge. Would that come up to where you are? How do you prepare for something like this?
Everything goes in my house, into the living room. So, I've got lots of product, etc., downstairs. Our porch that my husband built, we live out here. We live out here on the porch, and I mean we have a house inside, but so the water with Ian came up to where our feet are on here. So the surge came all the way up to the bottom of our porch. So our home, we got the sea spray and that kind of damage, but we didn't get the surge in our home up here.
It could come in even higher this time. What does worry you the most?
What worries me the most? I think what worries me the most, even though I don't think it will happen, but what worries me the most is like losing a pylon, because I look at what has happened for Helene, those houses that got swept away down rushing waters. I feel safe up here on our stilted home, but if we were to lose a pylon and the house wasn't sturdy, that scares me the most. What used to scare me the most was the surge.
Listen, Bridgestone, bud, we do wish you the best. I know.
He said, good luck. Yo, he said, we wish you the best, girl. Good luck.
That you try to help out.
Yeah, she said she has a lot of product in her living room. She absolutely is a drop shipper. Yes.
With others who stayed, you did after Ian. Again, just wish you the best. Please stay safe over the next 24 hours.
Moments ago, Orlando.
I mean, what are you supposed to say to that? What are you supposed to say to this woman? She's like, yeah, it's fine. I got product. I got to move my product upstairs. Make sure it avoids the storm surge.
National Airport has suspended all commercial operations. It is the latest in what has now become a long list of Florida airports to have to shut down as Hurricane Milton is barreling towards the state. People planning to ride out the storm now only have hours to gather any last supplies, and they really need to hunker down no matter where they are. Let's get over to CNN's Victor Blackwell. He's in Orlando, where also conditions seem to be deteriorating. What are you seeing and what are you hearing from people there?
Kate, there's been some steady rain here for several hours, and the steady.
Yeah, if you want a type of skincare product that gives you like a new kind of face cancer that, you know, doctors are shocked by, there you go. You go there. Some Floridians are staying despite warnings of life risk. We have faith in the Lord. I love, you guys know this, but obviously I absolutely love when like international correspondents, international journalists cover like American mania just with pure shock. Some Floridians are staying despite warnings of life risk. We have faith in the Lord, they say. As Hurricane Milton approaches, many cities were largely deserted, but some people chose to shelter in place.
Stream of people coming to this Home Depot right off I-4 to get the last-minute supplies, the flashlights, the plywood, the battery, generators. I spoke with the manager of this store just a couple of minutes ago, and he says that they have not run out of those supplies, but this store will be closing at 3 p.m. as the worst of Milton comes ashore. And this really is an interesting place in Florida where you have both people who are trying to get away from this part of the state, tourists from all over the world are here for the parks, but also evacuees who've come here from those Zone A evacuation spaces, the Tampas, the St. Pete, to get away from the storm surge. Now in Orlando, storm surge really is not the major concern. There will be hurricane force winds here, so there will be down trees and power outages are certainly expected. It is the flooding, it's the rain. And so Central Florida can handle a rain.
They're just chilling, dude. What is going on? This is so nutty. This is like, I don't know what to say to this. It's a tourist distraction. I guess Key West is not going to get hit. Oh my God, bro. Dude, get out of there. Get the fuck out of there. I can't. Key West is pretty safe, but they're still idiots. Bro, you said it's pretty safe. One of them just fell. They got knocked out.
Rainy day, maybe better than other parts of the state, but it's the amount of rain, up to 15 inches forecast for this area, and the storm water control systems, the streams, Lake Davis, which flooded heavily in isolated communities in Ian in 2022, just cannot accommodate that. So city workers have been out trying to clear the drains, prepare for all this rain. We know that Orange County has opened several high schools and elementary schools for shelters. They've had sandbag operations for several days, although those have ended now. We know that Mayor Buddy Dyer will be working at the top of the hour, his meeting with the emergency operations managers to make sure that the city is prepared for the worst.
Stop, Chaz.
Stop. Of the storm. The EOC is going to be opening at 4 o'clock, and they'll be around the clock ready to respond to any of those emergencies. But fire and rescue, once those winds get too strong,
y'all have the independent thinkers of chat, dude. Remember Elon offered free Starlink to people hurt by Hurricane Helene? But when you look into the offer, it actually costs about $400 for the dish, and then people are automatically rolled into a $120 per month contract when the free month ends. You can't let an opportunity like that go to waste, man. You got to do it to them.
40 miles per hour consistent sustained winds, they will not be able to go out and respond to some of those emergencies. So they're standing by preparing. This is a choreographed dance that they do, but not for a storm of this size and strength in a very long time. Okay?
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. It is just nutty. Oh, my goat. Check in with my goats.
It is, yeah. Exactly. A lot of lightning in that northeastern quad right here. Probably means that there's some elevated towers up there that maybe will cause a little bit of a low pressure because it's kind of propagate up to the northeast. just eroding this little area. Sure is, isn't it? I think we're still in the slot right now.
There's a Cybertruck trying to ride out the hurricane. Uh-oh. Cybertruck getting hammered in Sarasota ahead of shearing out Hurricane Milton. Dangerous storm surge on the dirty sides of South Tampa. Bro, that's crazy. I would steer clear of that.
Hurricane Milton.
Once the salt water comes kicking in, that shit is that's a nuke, okay? Once that bad boy gets a taste of that salt water, dude, that is going to be a mini nuke ready to be activated. Why is storm chasing even a thing? I mean, they're awesome. Listen, I don't have an issue with professional storm chasers like my main man, Reed Timmer, okay? Friend of the show, Reed. That's my moot you're talking about. They're doing it for science. It's a little bit different. There's difference between those guys and fucking watch Piers Morgan and Alan and hijab debate. No, I'm not going to do that.
And we've been in constant contact. And they've been very thankful and appreciative of the help the federal government is providing. And I'm appreciative of all they're doing as well. And I've told them to contact me with anything else they need. We have made available an unprecedented number of assets to deal with this crisis. We're going to continue to do so until the job is done. But now I want to be clear about something. For the last few weeks, there's been a reckless, irresponsible, and relentless promotion of disinformation and outright lies that are disturbing people. It's undermining confidence in the incredible rescue and recovery work that has already been taken and will continue to be taken. And it's harmful to those who need help the most. There is simply no place for this to happen. Former President Trump has led the onslaught of lies. Assertions have been made that property is being confiscated. That's simply not true. And people impacted by these storms will receive $750 in cash and no more. That's simply not true. Saying the money is needed for this crisis is being diverted to migrants. What a ridiculous thing to say. It's not true. Now the claims are getting even more bizarre. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congresswoman from Georgia, is now saying the federal government is literally controlling the weather. We're controlling the weather. It's beyond ridiculous. It's got to stop. Moments like this, there are no red or blue states. There's one United States of America where neighbors are helping neighbors. Volunteers and first responders are risking everything, including their own lives, to help their fellow Americans. State, local, and federal officials are standing side by side. Let me repeat, no one should make the American people question whether their governments will be making sure that this disaster, when it strikes, they'll be there. We will, all of us. I'm going to turn it over to Vice President Harris.
Dude, what a fucking insane state of affairs, dude. This country, like, how the fuck did we make it this far, brother? Actually, how the fuck did we make it this far? We got one of the two major parties, like, unironically bouldering towards some of the most insane things. It is actually fucking insane. Things have gotten more insane than things got significantly more insane in the last decade. I'm sorry. Straight up. Things were always pretty stupid here. You got those videos of motherfuckers being like, oh, well, if I can't drunk drive, then, you know, this is a nanny state, this is communism or whatever. Sure. Guys like that have always existed. But you can't tell me that those in positions of power genuinely using the bully pulpit and the opportunity that they have to talk to millions of Americans. I've never seen it like this, man. I've never seen it like this. Holy fuck. And it's not just Donald Trump. Before you say, oh, Donald Trump is he's a responsible party for this, for sure. He is absolutely responsible for a big chunk of this. But like the entire Republican Party is moving along with him.
If that's okay with all of you. Thank you. Madam Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Liz, thank you for the work that you have been doing. As the president said, we've been working around the clock to prepare for Hurricane Milton and to ensure that people are safe, including ensuring federal, state, and local resources are being coordinated in a smart and efficient and effective way. We have also been in constant contact with the leaders in Florida to make sure that we are cutting any red tape that might get in the way of getting relief to folks, to make sure also that communities receive the resources and the support that they need as quickly as possible. Already, we have sent more than 1,000 federal personnel to be on the ground in Florida to assist with what needs to happen in the state to prepare for this hurricane, and we will continue to scale up those efforts. To the people of Florida, and in particular the people of the Tampa region, we urge you to take this storm seriously. As has been said before, this is a storm that is expected to be of historic proportion. And many of you, I know, are tough and you've ridden out these hurricanes before. This one's going to be different. And so we ask you that by every measure, understand it's going to be more dangerous, more deadly, and more catastrophic. So please listen to your local officials. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. And if you are told to evacuate, please evacuate immediately. Do not wait until it is too late. And in the hours and days ahead, President Biden and I and our administration will continue to do everything we can to protect the people who have been in the path of this storm. And once the storm has passed, we will be there to help folks recover and rebuild, as we continue to do for those communities in Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina, and across the Southeast who have been devastated by Hurricane Helene. Finally, as the president mentioned, to any company that or individual that might use this crisis to exploit people who are desperate for help through illegal fraud or price gouging, whether it be at the gas pump, the airport, or the hotel counter, know that we are monitoring these behaviors and the situation on the ground very closely, and anyone taking advantage of consumers will be held accountable. The bottom line is this hurricane poses an extreme danger, and we urge everyone in Florida to take extreme caution. And we are with you, and we will get through this together.
What are you most worried about today and into tomorrow? And what messaging can we do to help people in the hours before it makes landfall?
Mr. President, the biggest concern is making sure people have gotten out of harm's way. Over the next 24 hours, we are going to see significant winds. We are going to see storm surge. We are going to see flooding from the rain. People need to be able to take this storm seriously. They need to move, if they still have time to move, out of harm's way. And we are prepared to support Florida with additional search and rescue assets to help save lives. That's our immediate concern, Mr. President, is saving lives over the next 24 hours.
Have you ever seen a storm like this one since you've been in charge?
I think this is going to be one of the biggest ones that we have seen after it makes landfall. I mean, we saw a lot of impact from Hurricane Ian, but this one is different. This one just looks different, and I think we're going to have a lot of impacts and people that are going to need our help, sir.
Well, thank you very much.
Administrator Criswell.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we concerned about any misinformation or disinformation regarding evacuations that we need to clear up at this point?
There's been a lot of misinformation out there, Madam Vice President, that's for sure. But I have not heard anything specific to the evacuations. I think that the local officials, the state officials have been very strong in getting that message out there and getting people to move out of harm's way. I was in Florida on Monday and met with the mayor of Tampa as well as the mayor of St. Petersburg, and we saw people evacuating. And so they are listening to their local officials, and that was encouraging.
That's great. Thank you.
The idea that sometimes it takes days for rivers to crest after a major storm like this. Are there any particular areas of concern that that are related to this type of flooding? And how long do you think the flooding conditions could last? In other words, I think people think once the winds are died down and have gotten through that, okay, we're all set. But these rivers flooding are consequential, and it takes time, right?
It takes time. That storm surge pushes up every nook and cranny of Florida. So it goes up bays, goes up rivers, it fills in all these areas. And then you add that incredible amount of rainfall, and that rain can't drain because the storm surge has it blocked. So just really looking at some of the areas in Hillsborough River, Alafaya River, the Peace River, some of these type of traditional places that could flood, we really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and
Did you see the American journalist Jeremy Lafredo was kidnapped in Israel? He's my best friend. I didn't know. Yeah, I did hear about this. Yes, I did. I'm gonna get to this in a little bit.
I know there's a lot of media following this briefing. So there have been, we've gone from a Cat 5 to a Cat 4, and the language that a lot of folks have been using is downgrade. But it sounds like you're cautioning us that that may communicate a sense that the danger is lessened when in fact it's not. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know a lot of folks are watching right now and would love to have your feedback on how we should be talking about this.
You know, we need everybody that communicates to the public to be on the same page with the words, because I've 30 years of doing this. I've seen this so many times. People will think, oh, it was a Cat 5, now it's a Cat 3. That's not a reason to relax. That's not weakened. That's not diminished. That means that we've expanded the wind field. The impacts don't change associated with that. And I've seen this in Hurricane Florence and other historic hurricanes. So we have to be mindful of the words that we use and focus on those impacts. Those impacts haven't changed no matter what the wind speed does over the next 24 hours.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you.
I want to get now to my colleague, Dana Bash. Dana, I understand that you got Vice President Harris on the phone.
That's right, Brianna. Thank you so much. Vice President Harris, I believe that you are now on the telephone fresh off of that briefing that we all saw here on CNN. Thank you so much for being here. What is the most important thing that you learned that you want to amplify for Americans who are in the path of this dangerous storm right now?
The briefing was very helpful on a number of fronts, but most importantly in getting the word out to folks in Florida in particular to please heed the advice and direction of your local officials, because this storm is unlike anything we have seen before, and that's the point of emphasis. This is unlike anything we have seen before. We got a lot of tough, strong people in Florida who have been through a lot of hurricanes, tornadoes, but this is not like anything they've dealt with before. So if they have been told to evacuate, they must evacuate.
By the way, if you want to know what housing deregulation in an effort to build 3 million additional units look like, Florida is a perfect example of housing deregulation in order to build additional units is. Just so you understand.
We expect that this is going to be catastrophic and deadly. And I would emphasize that. I would also emphasize the information that we received, that even if the designation of the category shifts from a 5 to 4, that's not actually a downgrade in terms of the danger and the dangerous potential of it. And so let's not have people rely to their detriment on, oh, this sounds like it's going to be less serious than we thought. They made very clear Category 5, Category 4 are almost equivalent in terms of the danger and the damage that they will create. So I would urge people to really take that information away, as well as to know there are dedicated folks on the ground from FEMA, from federal, state, and local agencies that are there to help you in terms of advice now, to help you get out, and to help with recovery and rebuilding after this storm and this hurricane passes.
And Madam Vice President, I just want to follow up on the FEMA readiness part of this discussion. We heard the Administrator Deanne Criswell say earlier today that the agency is down to $11 billion in disaster relief funding because it spent about $9 billion just over the last week. Are you confident FEMA has the resources to manage what we are, never mind what we're about to see in Florida, but of course, that's on top of Hurricane Helene 2 weeks ago?
FEMA absolutely has the resources that it needs now and to deal with this hurricane as it hits and the aftermath. And of course, we want Congress, when they come back, to do their job of making sure that they pass legislation to provide more aid, because again, this is really historic in terms of what we've seen. And so we do need to buff up the aid and assistance that we give FEMA, understanding that this is unusual and may be, sadly, the new normal.
But you don't believe that, because Congress is not in Washington.
The same kick streamer you saw earlier is literally doing the viewer meme and holding to a tree right now in a flood of water. He's going to die. Just so you understand, that dude is going to die. He is filming his own death. That's why I haven't like clicked on that link. Okay. I don't know why people are like, oh, I can't wait to see this guy die. Like, the fact that Kick didn't ban him already, knowing full well that like he's going to die, is shocking to me. Truly a morbid state of affairs. He might not actually be in Tampa. He could be in another city experiencing heavy rainfall. I hope.
And right now, you don't believe that they need to come back earlier in order to give FEMA more resources?
FEMA has what they need right now.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit more about what both you and President Biden talked about in this briefing, and each of you has talked about many times over the past few days, which is this dangerous misinformation that is coming from a lot of corners, including your opponent in the race for the White House. Several local Republican leaders have been pleading with them to stop. Have you spoken to GOP officials in Florida to figure out how to help combat that right now as it's about to get a whole lot worse?
Well, I'll tell you, I have spoken with local officials who have been struck, for example, by Hurricane Helene, and they are doing an extraordinary job in trying to combat the misinformation. And I'm talking about sheriffs, I'm talking about mayors, I'm talking about local officials. I don't even know their party affiliation, by the way, but leaders on the ground who know that it is not in the best interest of the people living in those areas to not know their rights, not to know what they're entitled to, and to be afraid of seeking help. It is dangerous. It is unconscionable, frankly, that anyone who would consider themselves a leader would mislead desperate people to the point that those desperate people would not receive the aid to which they are entitled. And that's why I call it dangerous. And we all know it's dangerous. And the gamesmanship has to stop. At some point, the politics have to end, especially in a moment of crisis, and the crises that we've been seeing affect so many people. I've met people who have lost family members through Hurricane Helene. We know the desperation and the fear that the folks who are attempting to evacuate Florida are experiencing. The last thing that they deserve is to have a so-called leader make them more afraid than they already are.
We have been fact-checking. In fact, just before you came on, we did so. My colleague Brianna Keeler, along with Daniel Dale and Priscilla Alvarez, are doing that, and we're continuing to do it. One of my sort of follow-up questions to that is about, we know what Republicans, many Republicans are saying that is just not true. One of the things that came out of the fire in Hawaii last year was that a lot of the misinformation was reportedly being stirred by foreign adversaries. Do you have any indication that that is happening right now?
I do not. No, I do not. But
okay, I was wrong. Remember when I said you shouldn't be worried about looters? Yeah, I forgot that there's kick streamers out there who'll do it for fucking clout. I forgot kick streamers exist, you know? Streamer arrested for armed burglary after breaking into condo during Hurricane Milton. Kick streamer Shuvi has been arrested for armed burglary and resisting an officer after breaking into a condo during Hurricane Milton. It's making landfall across western coast of Florida. Viral TikToker Lieutenant Dan is one of the people staying with his property, which is a 20-foot long sailboat. Kick streamer Shuvi traveled to the area right before the hurricane's wind and rain started affecting Florida, but his excursion didn't go quite as planned. After breaking into an abandoned condo, Shuvi was arrested by local police and banned on Kick. According to the Sarasota County Sheriff's Department, the streamer has been charged with armed burglary and resisting arrest and is currently being held in custody with a $1,000 bond.
See your hands! Police!
My hands are up.
Get down here! Right now! I'll fuck you up! Get down! Get down! Put your phone down!
On the ground, down!
I'm on the ground.
That Kick streamer just ended the stream after repeatedly saying, "I'm done," in a panic while trying to stay above the water, clinging onto a tree. He didn't steal anything, just trespassed in an abandoned building, trying to stay. Dude, I mean, yeah, the police, by the way, in the interest of maintaining journalistic integrity and honesty here, unsurprisingly, the police are also, once again, overreacting. Albeit, it is still funny to watch them overreact to a Kick streamer who is a piece of shit and kind of deserves it, but it's still another classic case of police escalation for no fucking reason. Lieutenant Dan was just in someone's TikTok live and he detached his line and started floating away. He's going into the ocean now. This comes just after a day Kick co-owner Aiden Ross shared that he would pay someone $70,000 to IRL stream from an affected area in Hurricane Milton. That's why the other fucking Kick streamer, Hasanabi, just snitching, Winky head. Winky, what do you mean I'm snitching? I'm reading it. This is the first time I fucking found out about this. Bro, Donald Trump went on this motherfucker's stream, bro.
Seriously injured or hurt, $75K. Let's do this. If you get seriously injured or hurt, $75K.
There's no way.
And to go in to stream it for, how long is the hurricane? Like 1 or 2 days? I'll give you 30 racks.
Yeah, this is the dude we saw earlier, the Kick streamer.
This is all I have to eat. I got ramen noodles and that's...
I think he's done though, right? Like, I think he said it to a friend, not to anyone. Aiden Ross warns streamers traveling to Florida. Bro, nobody getting paid. Leave, evacuate, save yourself, brother. Aiden Ross warns streamers traveling to Florida to chase Hurricane Milton, telling them they won't be paid and urging them to evacuate immediately. Bro, I don't know, like, I don't know what the fuck these dudes are doing. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. I mean, they're not. They're just so fucking clout hungry that they are. I mean, this is like, there's like legal repercussions for this shit. We could not confirm whether this was Shuvi's intention due to the stream VOD being removed, but users across social media are claiming that's the reason he was in the area. One clip shows the streamer driving into a rainy area, claiming he drove all day to get to Sarasota from his home in Virginia to IRL stream the hurricane. He's not the only Kick streamer in the area. Mike Smalls is currently live streaming on top of an air mattress inside of the storm. Aiden saw this was blowing up. He is now back down after Aiden tweeted he is offering $10K if he ends the stream and leaves. The guy saw that and the stream has ended, and Aiden has quickly deleted his tweet. So he might have scammed the guy to save him. He was paying his Twitter boss to have others stream the hurricane law. Aiden Ross had announced he's paying $70K for someone to IRL stream the Hurricane Milton. What a demonic clown. To be honest, if you are in Florida and you aren't evacuating, you might as well take the free $70K. Bro, I don't think people understand. Like, if there's a paper trail between Aiden Ross and Scuba Ryan, like, it's gonna be revealed in a fucking criminal investigation. If someone actually ends up getting harmed in the process, like, you are now criminally liable. In that process, your dumbass fucking Twitch account or your dumbass fucking Twitter account is gonna get clapped up. Any competent investigation is going to find out a connection between you and Aiden Ross and all this other shit. I don't really understand. There's not going to be any investigation. Let's be for real. I think the only reason why there might be is because they just keep increasing the ante. When they face no consequences whatsoever, they just get increasingly more unhinged. And this is exactly the type of shit that actually brings up criminal liability. You know? Anyway, you should be worried about your own liability at the top of the hour, by the way, when there is a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
Whatever the source, Dana, just so we're clear, it hurts the American people, and it's got to stop.
Madam Vice President, I also just want to ask a little bit more about the federal response. One of the Republican senators from North Carolina, Tom Tillis, who I should say is not critical of the federal response, he says he believes that President Biden should appoint an active duty commander to lead the federal response to these storms. Is that a good idea? Should he do that?
I mean, Dana, we've already, as part of the briefing, heard just minutes ago that tornadoes have actually already hit the area. So now is not the time to necessarily think about restructuring as much as it is to get boots on the ground and the support directly that is needed as a matter of urgency. And certainly all good ideas are...
Bro, my own fan base is so fucking stupid. Like, as a 42-month subscriber, you should probably recognize that, like, as much as you're trying to make a joke, there are genuine dumbasses who think that way, and that they will turn around and be like, see, Hassan's own community is saying this as well. And if you want to be that desperately mentioned in a fucking clip comp from some fucking white supremacist account that's going to be like, yo, Hassan's fans are fucking riling up against him, you know, go off, kings and queens. But, like, you've been in here for quite a while. You know how these psychos fucking operate. You should know better. You know? Anyway, I know it's a joke. Chatters, it's just a bad one. That's my point. There's one thing I've noticed with Kamala Harris's like rhetoric and her tone. I think Trump does a pretty good job of like emoting the anger that the crowd feels. And I think this is an opportunity for Kamala Harris to also literally just be like, what are these guys saying? You know? Because when I hear, I don't know, some fucking Republican governor being like, we need to restructure the entire command of this hurricane relief and recovery effort, while the hurricane has already made fucking landfall, like, you should just turn around and be like, well, that seems kind of silly, doesn't it? Like, even though she is cognizant of how fucking utterly stupid this proposal is, like, I wish she would also resemble, I wish you could also invoke the feelings that I have right now as an onlooker, as someone who's watching this. And I don't really care because, like, they are saying the right words here. They are doing the right things and saying the right things from a cold, calculated, sociopathic, electoralist analysis here. Having said that, it would be nice if they were just like, it would be nice if she was like, what are these people saying? 5 p.m. EST Milton update. Milton is Cat 3 with 120 mile per hour winds and a minimum pressure of 948 millibars. Here is the key message from the NHC. Many hazards ongoing in association with the hurricane currently, with life-threatening storm surge and hurricane force winds expected on the West Florida Peninsula tonight. That's the latest update.
But right now, let's let FEMA, let's let the folks who are on the ground do the work they need to do right now in real time. That's about assisting with evacuations, getting correct information out, battling, sadly, the misinformation, and putting in place the resources that can hopefully mitigate against the predictable damage. Including, for example, we heard a very good briefing from the Commandant of the Coast Guard, the work that needs to happen around being concerned about potential damage to the port in Tampa. That kind of work needs to happen urgently, and that's where my focus is.
Yeah, and the window for evacuation is definitely closing as we speak. Madam Vice President, before I let you go, I do have to ask you about another phone call that I believe you participated in earlier today with President Biden, and that is with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Did he talk at all about what his plans are to retaliate against Iran after its ballistic missile attack against Israel last week?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a classified call, and I don't have any announcements to make about what happened during that call, and I just can't get into private diplomatic conversations on this channel. But it was an important call.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on, spending a few moments with us. Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Madam Vice President, I know that this country is currently being attacked by 10,000 nuclear bombs worth of hurricane power. But can I please get an opinion, maybe a breaking story from you about Israel also taking advantage of this chaotic media situation to nuke Iran? Can you please give me just a crumb? I need to know.
Just hours before
I need to know if we are nuking Tehran or not.
Many folks are still trying to flee this part of Florida. But talking to folks around Tampa Bay, we found some people are either unwilling to leave or they're unable.
Local emergency.
Despite days of evacuation warnings from local officials,
Quickly secure your home or business and safely evacuate the area.
some in the Tampa-St. Petersburg area are refusing to heed the call. You're going to ride the storm out in this boat right here?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I have nowhere else to go.
Joseph Malinowski has lived on this boat since March.
This is my home.
He's wrong, by the way. This is wrong. Everyone has somewhere to go. There are shelters. These people are just objectively wrong. He's out to sea now. Yeah, not only do they have shelters, if you don't have a car, you can try to take advantage of the Uber structure that they set up. Not entirely certain how reliable that is. What if you can't afford to get to a shelter? Great question. That's why I just told you You can take an Uber to a shelter for free. These are some of the many different ways in which, not only that, but emergency services have reached out to this man who is now becoming a viral sensation on TikTok numerous fucking times. Shut the fuck up. Stop making excuses for this dipshit. They literally were trying to forcibly remove him from the boat. Okay? Y'all are so dumb in all of your, forward levels of thinking. In all of this, like, empathetic mindset that you've demonstrated, that you've cultivated over the past couple of years, you've decided that sometimes people don't have the capacity to be just a fucking crackhead on a boat. This man is a crackhead on a boat.
My everything. This is all I have right now.
He ignored calls to evacuate during Helene, anchoring in the same area.
And as long as my masts don't break or anything like that, we'll be all right. For the last one, Helene, I slept through the whole thing.
Helene made landfall roughly 200 miles to the north of Tampa. Milton, on the other hand, is expected to hit much closer, potentially bringing double the storm surge.
This was the outside water line, and it was about the same inside.
Deborah Davis also chose to ride out Helene at home.
Lower cabinets have been pulled, counters and sinks set aside.
The 65-year-old former teacher lives in a retirement community in St. Petersburg. Many of her and her neighbors' belongings were destroyed by 2 feet of floodwater here and are now piled outside the condo.
A lot of my neighbors were surrounded by their memories, and their memories are now sitting in that dump pile in the parking lot.
Davis says she's staying with friends nearby, unable to leave town after her car was totaled in the flood. Her friend Jerry told us he and his 2 cats are staying put in this complex.
I don't have anywhere to go, and I'm afraid to get stranded somewhere on the interstate. You run out of gas, what do you do?
Tampa's mayor says officials are going door to door citywide, offering transportation for those in need. Shelters have also opened up across the region.
So what is your message to people who decide to stay after all that you've said, all the warnings you've given?
If you're in a single-story home and a 12-foot wall of water comes, that is unsurvivable.
Dire words there from the mayor.
Joining us now is FEMA Administrator.
Like, guys, the American government is ass usually, but like this is one of the areas where, with the limited amount of appropriated funds that they have, they still try to make the most of it. And y'all are still like, no, there's this or that. Like, yes, there are always going to be some people who do not have the capacity to leave for one reason or another. But you must understand, there are also a shit ton of people. There are also a shit ton of people who are just fucking crackheads. Okay?
Damn, this guy's good.